Afternoon, everybody. Eric here with Big Easy Barbecue. Today we're going to be doing some ribs on the Old Country Over Under barbecue pit. So I have already actually opened these up and I patted them dry. And then I just kind of trimmed them up to get a little tighter bit of formation here. Typically, I normally like to remove the membrane, but I'm going to try something today. I just scored them and I'm going to see how that works out for us. So what I like to do after doing that is I like to just use mustard as a binder. It actually does not add any flavor, and any brand of mustard is fine. You can use whatever you like. Same as seasoning. I'm going to tell you what I use, and then you can actually use whatever seasoning you prefer. Even just the salt, pepper, garlic method is fantastic as well. So for my seasoning, I actually do like to use the Killer Bees barbecue rub. This one here is my seasoning, the McCormick Sweet and Smoky. And again, this isn't their normal container. I like to use this container, so I like the shaker. And then here I have the Killer Bees barbecue rub. So what I like to do is get them all coated really good with a good decent amount of mustard here, and just rub it in there really good all the way around. And if you don't like mustard, don't worry about it. It's not going to change the flavor, but you could use a few different things. You could actually go with, some different oils if you choose to put on there just as a binder, because all we're trying to do is get that seasoning to stick and adhere through your cook. I actually even know somebody that does like to use their actual spritz liquid that they use for spritzing, which is vinegar cider, or apple cider vinegar, I'm sorry, and water mix, and they'll use that. So I like to have one clean dry hand and then one glove hand. So once I have gotten them all mustarded up with the binder, don't be afraid to put this on there and put it on there kind of heavy. None of these rubs that I have here are salt, because you're putting on a heavy amount. You don't want to add a ton of salt. So we'll get this on there. And this first one is the Sweet Smoky rub that I like to use. We'll get her coated. And then we're going to do the Killer Bees, which this one here is this is more of a sweet base than anything else. It has a nice good sweetness, which goes great with pork. And then we're going to flip them. Then we're going to do the same to this side, just do the same exact method here. And then I like to let it sit for about 20 minutes. That way it has a little bit of time to start to sweat there. So it's been between 20-25 minutes. We let the ribs set. You see they're starting to sweat nicely. We'll get ready to put these on, but temperature's a little bit high, as I like to smoke anywhere from 200 to 225. We're at 273 and it's starting to come down. I always use a digital probe besides the probes that are on. As you can see, these are supposed to not fog, but they actually fog. So I would recommend getting some new analog if you like the analogs, if you buy this unit. Let's go around back. I'm going to show you what we use for our actual cooking as far as the heat. So what we do is I start with a base of charcoal, and then what I have in here are applewood splits. So we got applewood in here going now, and we want to keep a nice clean fire. So I've actually changed the grate that comes in here with this, to me, to not allow enough airflow to come underneath. So I've taken it out and added these grates. I am going to actually have one made that'll fit in here, so it's a better grate, but this actually does work just fine. I just want something that's going to have more durability. We're at 232. I think we're going to open her up. I'm getting ready to get these ribs on there, and then we'll continue to adjust our temperature setting to get it down in the range that I like to cook at. So we'll get them on there. I will leave these set for at least an hour, and then I'll come back out and then see if they're ready to be spritzed. And what we're going to be looking for is making sure that the seasoning is adhering, and we'll start to give her spritz, and I'm just going to use apple cider vinegar and water. An hour and a half into the cook, add a few temperature swings. It's pretty windy out here and it's a cold day, so it took a little longer for that seasoning to get set, but it's about time I think we can spritz. So let's open her up and take a look. Oh yeah, and I can see, getting a little more, see the darkness there. I think I'm gonna move this one around. Just because we had a little bit of a hot spot, it seems. We're gonna give her some spritz here, and all we got is apple cider vinegar and water, and I do a 40-60, so 40% apple cider and 60% water, because I don't like any of that bitterness to come back. We'll close her up, and we'll probably come out and spritz her now about every 30 to 40 minutes. All right, so they've been on the smoker at 225 for 3 hours now, and this is what we got. So I pulled them off. It's time to actually wrap them. We're starting to get a little bit of bend in them, not a lot, just a little bit. And this is the process that helps them get tender, and it seals in a little bit more of the juice and the steam. So what we want to do, we're going to put down some brown sugar here. Just to get some brown sugar on there. Not a whole ton, but a little bit. And then we're going to get a little bit, I like to use Parquet. Get a little Parquet in there. And some honey. So then what we want to do is we want to go face down. And then do the same here on the back side. A little butter on there. And get a little bit of honey. Had to get out the other bottle. That one's getting a little tight to squeeze. And then we're going to go over the top of that with a little more brown sugar. And when I wrap these, man, right now I can tell they smell delicious. I smell that smoke. It smells fantastic from that applewood. So we're gonna wrap it like such. Not too tight, just a little air can move around in there. But then I double wrap them so I get a good seal. Most of the caramelization will be in the third step, but you'll get a little bit. All right, so what we want to do is we want to make sure that we put them face down in there, so the meat portion of these ribs are cooking in all of that goodness as they're sitting out there steaming. And what I do is I do what's called a 3-1-1 method. So 3 hours on the smoke, 1 hour wrapped, and then we'll take them back out for 1 more hour to get a lot more caramelization. It'll just another touch of kiss on the exterior of smoke. All right, we're back in the kitchen. So we smoked them on the smoker for 3 hours. We wrapped them with a little bit of butter, honey, and brown sugar. And we used double wrap foil, so two layers of foil. We did that for an hour. And then we put them back on the smoker for another hour. And they're off. So, and then we let them rest for about 20 minutes. 20 minutes should be good enough typically. Just let them set and reabsorb any of the flavors that you created in there. So, oh yeah, nice juice. Look at that juice. Nice and juicy. And a little ring. Let's give her a taste. Oh man, the smoke, the flavor of that honey mixed with that brown sugar, fantastic. So there you go. I do a 3-1-1 method. Come out beautiful. They don't fall off the bone. You got just a little bit of a tug, but they're nice and tender. If you want to try that, enjoy. Again, it's the 3-1-1 method. If you like the video, hit like, and I appreciate it if you would subscribe. Have a great day. Thanks, guys.